Shalom. Welcome to this week's edition of the Sedra. This week we are studying Sedra Chukas. My Rabbi, Rav Sinai Adler Sedra Israel, is one of the most formidable influences in my life. A Holocaust survivor, he repeatedly tells of his strength and faith in God due to his experiences in the Holocaust. It is so obvious to him that the Holocaust was a suspension of the course of nature. In his words, when you are being hit repeatedly, you know that someone is hitting you. It's not random objects raining blows down on you. Thus, ironically, at a time when God, as it were, hid his face, he was directly showing his existence. Why would God set the world up in a way that his existence is set up to be proven in tragedy? In this Dvar, I'd like to address this question by explaining how God's existence is shown through tragedy. I'll do so by bringing examples from Moshe and Paro, the Rambam's views on Kiddush and Chil Hashem, and lastly a pasuk from our Sedra that will frame all of our many sources. I hope that the viewer gains a greater awareness of Hashem from this Dvar Torah. Besides the emancipation of the Jews, an objective of the exodus of Egypt was creating awareness of God's existence. As Hashem himself said, I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God, and you shall know that I am your God. In fact, the first mitzvah of the Torah is to know that there is a God. Kiddush and Chil Hashem are parallels. In making a Kiddush Hashem, a person creates awareness of God's existence by making God a priority in their lives. In Chil Hashem, a person does the opposite. They attempt to limit awareness of God by deprioritizing God in their lives. If you'll allow me to quote the Rabbi, he says as follows about Kiddush and Chil Hashem. There are deeds which desecrate God's name, if performed by a person of great Torah stature, i.e., deeds which will cause people to speak disparagingly of him. This also constitutes the desecration of God's name. The converse is true as well. When a sage speaks pleasantly with others, his conduct is attractive to others. If he honors them, even though they disrespect them, he does business faithfully, and at all times is seen studying Torah, carrying out all his deeds beyond the measure of the law. Such a person sanctifies God's name. In our Sedra, Moshe infamously hits the rock instead of talking to it. Hashem calls Moshe's action Achil Hashem. As Moshe is punished, he's being denied entrance into Israel. Hashem states, these are the waters of Meribah, where the children of Israel rebelled against Hashem, and he, meaning God, was sanctified in them. How is Hashem sanctified in these waters? Rashi explains that Hashem's existence is made known by punishments just as much as in reward. As we've explained, Hashem's punishment of Moshe showed the people that although Moshe didn't prioritize Hashem's words, Hashem's commands ran Moshe's life. None of us have the right nor the audacity to judge Holocaust survivors, but Rav Sinai, my Rabbi, was a survivor and a scholar, and he does have that right. He faults those who lost faith due to the Holocaust. He felt that God's hand is as evident during tragedy as during times of blessing. In both tragedy and blessing, we see evidence of God's providence. We will recognize God, but we are given a choice. We can recognize God through blessing or through tragedy. And that's the lesson of our Sedra. Shabbat Shalom.